Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. This is a webinar we've entitled Digital Transformation, Part 1 of 3. And that may evolve beyond that. At this point, there's 3, but like all things in Industry 4, we're going to see how it goes as we do it. So Part 1 is entitled, What is Industry 4.0? So basically, this is an exciting topic, and one I think that is absolutely critical for the times we're in at the moment, because we're recording this right in the middle of the COVID-19 situation. So we're talking about transformation, and this has transformed the way a lot of us think about how we do our business anyway. And connectivity is something that has been in the forefront of people's minds for the last few weeks. So it is an interesting topic. So that's the introduction. It's an absolute pleasure to present this. Let's begin, shall we? What is Industry 4.0? So I'm sure you can all see my screen now. So Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution. So we've all heard of the first industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution happened around about 1760 and was pretty much done and dusted and described as the Industrial Revolution by 1830. So what happened in that was quite transformative. It changed the world forever. But if you think about it in the context of, we started with the Industrial Revolution with basically sailing ships made of wood, and we finished the Industrial Revolution with steel ships made of iron. Just as an idea. So it transformed the world, and we've never really used sailing ships for any commercial purpose since. So the first industrial revolution is on mechanization, steam power, and of course I've put hydraulic power in here. We often think of the industrial revolution, we just think of steam engines and so on. But with heavy industry, what they were doing is very often using hydraulic energy. They pressurized water by using pumps driven by steam, and the water power would do very heavy lifting, punching, pressing, and forging. Made them able to do what they actually were able to do with a heavy iron and steel work in the first industrial revolution. So the second industrial revolution happened much later than that. It was really an acceleration phase, and that was brought on by electricity, and then it concluded with mass production. So the development of electrical motors, then electrical drives, solenoids, switches, and so on, so that we could automate things, and that led to mass production. Then there was another acceleration point as we went further, and the third industrial revolution was characterized by computers, automation, PLCs, and all the changes that computers brought to industry. It changed how we work with our organization. It changed how we work on the factory floor. So now we're up to the fourth industrial revolution. So what does that mean? Well, the fourth industrial revolution, if you look at it, it's connectivity and cyber physical systems. Now, I will admit, the first time I saw that, I thought, I don't even know what that means. What is a cyber physical system? So it gives you an idea. This is something that's kind of new to a lot of people. So the idea of this presentation is really to define what that fourth industrial revolution is about a little more closely, so that we have an understanding of really the changes that we expect to happen. So the Industrial Revolution then, the first Industrial Revolution happened about 1760 to about 1830. But I just want to put these points in here because I found it really interesting when you look at it. Thomas Newcomen came up with the atmospheric engine in about 1712. And it wasn't until about 1760 that steam power started to transform how we do things. So we had this lag in there of about 50 years when not a lot was happening. Okay, so there's this slow adoption and then a rapid acceleration. And there's a parallel with that. If you look at the Industry 4 and how that discussion is going, Industry 4.0, you could say, started around 2017, really with some gusto. The 2030 ending to it, it's something I've just made up. I've not got that from anywhere but my little feeble brain. So if we say, well, that's the arc of Industry 4, so why is connectivity a thing now in 2017, 2020, where we've had computers and connectivity since the late 60s? Well, what's really happened is again, like Industry 1, there's been this 50-year lag where we've reached a point now of digital maturity where we can actually do the things that we've always wanted to do. So what is happening now in industry is a fundamental shift and a fundamental change, and this has led to that acceleration. So Industry 4 is a new idea. Computers and automation PLCs, not so much. Certainly Industry 3. But the point here is that Industry 4 is different to Industry 3. Okay? What is Industry 3? You might think of it as industry. It's all about terminologies. Industry 4 as an idea was first floated at Hanover Messe in 2011. And it was presented really to the German government by this gentleman here, Klaus Schwab. So he is a German engineer and an economist, best known as the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. So he did something really cool, and he wrote a book. Okay, so if you write a book on the fourth industrial revolution, it depends whether it gets read, depends on who you are. The chairman of the World Economic Forum is worth reading, and it is actually a very good book. It describes it very well. So go to Amazon, see if you can find that. It's an easy thing to find. Definitely worth reading if you want to understand Industry 4. But I've got a few quotes from his book that I've put in here just to give you an idea of the gravity of what he's talking about. So of the many diverse and fascinating challenges we face today, the most intense and important is how to understand the shape of the new technology revolution, which entails nothing less than a transformation of humankind. Big words. We are at the beginning of a revolution that is fundamentally changing the way we live, work, and relate to one another. In its scale, scope, and complexity, what I consider to be the fourth industrial revolution is unlike anything humankind has experienced before. Big words. So the question for all industries and companies, without exception, is no longer, am I going to be disrupted? But when is disruption coming? What form will it take? And how will it affect me and my organization? So if we were to distill Industry 4 into a little shell and understand, okay, that is what it means. Industry 4, you could say, is about connectivity, it's about optimization, and it's about digital transformation. And the point I'd like to make is you can connect, and you can do it now. You can optimize, and you can do it now. And you can transform into a digital enterprise, and you can do it now. The tools are there, and they're ready to go. There's no reason to lag behind. So to transform into a digital organization, digital enterprise. So a digital organization is an enterprise which explores and selectively adopts new technologies in order to create differentiation in the marketplace with a view of gaining a competitive advantage. Okay? A company will have a look at the technologies available to it and pick and choose the things that it will use to transform its business. So, okay, what does that mean, Paul? Have you got any ideas? Have you got any examples? Yes, I can certainly talk about my experiences here working for this organization, because we are transforming and we are changing. We are doing it very actively. So I'd like to just talk about the things that I've seen here. But I just want to talk also about how broad digital transformation is. So 4 important elements of it. The first one is digital profile. And that's one of the things that we've seen change a lot in the time I've been at HYDAC here. So digital profile. If you're not on the web and you're not found on the web, really to a lot of the population, you don't exist. Okay, we all kind of know that if we're looking for something, whether it be a part or a pizza, you're going to go online. Okay, whether you want to be taken from a certain place to another place, whether you want to take public transport, find out what time that train runs, you're going to do it online. Certainly I do, and I think the majority of the world does. So if you're not there on the web waiting for your customers to come to you, you're not ready. Apps. I've had a lot of people say to me, you know what, is there an app for that? And the answer is often no. Oh, well, if you don't have an app, that's just pretty dumb. People are expecting apps. Social media is about connectivity, and it's about being with your users, with your customers, getting their understanding, getting their feedback about how things are working. And of course, if we want to buy things, there's been a fundamental shift away from in-store shopping to online ordering and online shipping. So digital profile is very much transforming everything we do. It's transformed how we do movies, how we do music, how we do banking, everything. Digital transformation is not necessarily throughout industry yet. Secondly, digital logistics. So this is then vertical and horizontal supply chains, being aware of where your parts are, being aware of how far away they are from being at your workshop, and also being aware of where your finished goods are. Okay, so digital logistics, you can certainly use those technologies there to enhance everything you do there. On the factory floor itself, manufacturing. So we're looking at using robotics, we're looking at using everything that we can in a modern manufacturing environment to optimize everything we do, to increase the quality, reduce the defects, and make better parts more consistently and more quickly. So it transforms manufacturing. Industry 4.0 also changes everything we're doing with regards to understanding our products, understanding everything we do. So we're using data and analytics to improve every aspect of the business. So that is about how the products are working in the workplace, how people's experiences are with them. We can also use data and analytics to help us design the products that meet the customer's needs a little bit better. So just a few points on there. So with regards to getting online and doing things, we've all experienced a frustrating UX. Now, if you don't know what UX is, get with the lingo. UX is user experience. So I often have this facial expression here. Well, I get online and just go, oh, God. So we want to actually make our presentation to the customers a pleasant experience. And we don't want to frustrate them. We want to help them. And that's something that people are certainly attuned to. So some of the things that this company has done as part of our digital transformation, we've got a multi-purpose mobile app. So you can find that on your app store or on Google or whatever you do. I'm an Apple person myself. So certainly you can do a lot of things in this app. It's a multi-purpose app. From my perspective, I'm the training officer here. I'm going to talk about the training. So you can find the training on there and you can actually make a booking on the app. There's some calculations and things for your hydraulic sizing of accumulators and all sorts of things. This is something I thought was quite ingenious. I've never seen anything like this. So we produced a capability statement, which of course describes what we do. But the way HYDAC did it is something I've not seen before. So I'd just like to share that with you. So this is a document, but it uses augmented reality as well. So as well as a document, a magazine that you can read that describes the company, what we also had was 3D models of what we do. And it also played a YouTube video there with audio. As you're having a look at the model, it would describe the product to you and so on. Absolutely transformative in the way you present yourselves to the market. So that was just clever and also neat. And I've had a number of people say, wow. So again, you don't want to have a frustrating user experience. You want to have an exciting one. So there's something that can be done. E-commerce. So we've had, as you're aware, high speed for a number of years. So high speed is the online ordering through distribution. So from the customer's perspective, it's easier. They know exactly what's available. They don't have to call up and ask about availability because distributors, as you know, many of you are our distributors, you know the price and you know what part you need. You have the catalogs, you have the price list. But the only question you can't answer is it in stock? So you'd call. So now with high speed, you can see exactly what's in stock. So it's easier for you and it's easier for us. It's less mundane with regards to order entry because we don't have to do it twice. You're ordering it on your computer system and then we have to order it on ours and make that sales order. So this makes it much more efficient for everybody. Because there's only one round of data entry, there's less errors, and it's much more efficient. So we've seen some massive gains there in e-commerce. That's digital maturity. This is another thing I found really neat. As a trainer, I often meet people that don't have access to the understanding of the machine. They don't have the schematics available to them. So the marketing department just floored me when I saw this. I didn't know they were doing this. So on this hydraulic power unit here, as an example, there's some QR codes. So the QR codes, basically, you can scan them with your phone or tablet, and it'll take you straight to hydraulic schematics or electrical schematics or the manual for the machine. So it actually changes the way we get information, and it changes the understanding of how we relate to the things that we see in industry. So QR codes have been around for a long time, certainly with advertising, but this is looking at it from an industrial context, and it makes so much sense. Very, very clever. So we're developing things as we go, and that's what Industry 4.0 is. It's about looking for new ideas and looking for how you can do the Apple thing and think different. Okay, it is a journey. So where do you begin? Where do you end? Well, the road's going to shift as we do it, but certainly it is something that you have to begin with the first step. So to give you a better understanding of what Industry 4.0 means, I want to describe the enablers. So the enablers are the independent technologies that put together become Industry 4. So the first is the Industrial Internet of Things. Okay, I've heard a number of people say, well, isn't the Industrial Internet of Things what Industry 4 is? Well, no, because the Industrial Internet of Things is actually just a component part of it. It's not all of it. So, this is where I think it's worth discussing what these terminologies mean. So the Industrial Internet of Things is that we have machine-to-machine connectivity, and we have machine-to-office connectivity, so that we know exactly what's going on, connecting everything. Robots and cobots. You may not have heard the term cobot. So a cobot is a collaborative robot. So in the past, robots have been something that you can't actually have people around them. You have to keep them in a cage because of the risk to people, because they're not aware of their surroundings. They're just going to do what you program them to do. A collaborative robot is one that is designed to work with people. So you want to actually free these robots of their cages, and that enables them to work much more closely with the processes that people are getting involved with. So this is a newer technology, and it's an evolution of robotics, and it's changed what you can do with it and where you can place them. They're there to assist people. Another change with the robots is that they have become more aware. Using vision technology and LiDAR and things, they're aware of their spatial position, and they can be certainly aware that people are around them. Machine learning is another thing. Basically, this is that the machine or the robot isn't necessarily just going to work on how you program it. It's going to be able to think for itself and learn from its experiences. This is a newer technology. I've mentioned the improved supply chains. So that's where, of course, we have a better integration within our business and outside of our business, closer to our suppliers, closer to our distributors through digital connectivity. Digital twins. A digital twin is a 3D model, but it goes more than that. It actually has the attributes of the physical part. So it's something that you can interact with. Virtual reality is an environment that you could put people into to experience the digital twins. So I've got a demo of that. I'll just be a moment. This should load up. It shouldn't take too long. 10-second demo. So this is a machine that our production department has built recently. So this machine exists in 3D space as well. So you can interact with that with regards to the machine before it's even built, even after it's built. So the VR enables you to react and interact with that digital twin. Very exciting technologies. Predictive maintenance. is another enabler. So this is the ability to be able to predict when maintenance should occur, to optimize all of those practices. That's a very big subject for us in the industry that we deal with, and we're going to be talking about that more in the future. Big data and cloud technology. This has transformed the way we do everything. Collaboration with others, with shared files and so on. All of this happens with the cloud technology. So that's enabled a lot of the changes that we use. Additive manufacturing, again, this is the 3D printing, a relatively new technology. So in the past, we've made things by removing material and basically going hunting and finding that thing we want. Well, now we certainly just sort of make the shape that we want with no waste. So these are newer ideas. And augmented reality, again, I've showed you that. That's the digital profile that I showed with the little 3D model. So we can use augmented reality on our mobile devices or glasses or whatever. So Industry 4 is a collection of all of these things. And there's one more thing that it has, and that's the security, the cybersecurity. So this really, if you wanted to sum it up in one word, it is an ecosystem. Okay, so Industry 4 is more than the industrial Internet of Things. It's all the latest technologies working together, and they're all enabling each other. So I had a bit of an aha moment. As a trainer, I've got to often define things as clearly as I can. I was thinking about this. I was working on a presentation, actually listening to Pink Floyd. And I just thought, oh my God, that's it. This is Industry 4. Industry 4 is basically a spectrum of ideas. And basically, these ideas are so broad that you're not going to be an expert on all of them. So to understand Industry 4, you're going to have to collaborate with others. Each of these fields has experts. Okay, look for them, get them to help you. So again, just to finalize with the whole COVID thing, we've all been disrupted. Digital technology is about being ready for that. Well, look out for part 2 of this presentation. It's been an absolute pleasure. And wash your hands, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you down the track. Thank you.